Hello everyone. Well, I feel like I should do an extra video today because the first one I didn't do the sound right, so I just put a soundtrack on it. So that's what ended up. And then I drew a whole new page. So here we are. This is page, if that other one was page 21, this would be page 22, space 22. That means this is actually page 23. So I've got 22 and 23 kind of my work cut out for me. 24 or 25. I've got a couple of blanks here. I'm not sure how many pages this is going to end up. I had in mind from page 19 another 9 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8, 9, which would take me to 26, 27, 28, maybe. So the thing with comics like this is you don't really, you never know how long it's going to go. All right, I'm on the panels. I'm on the technical pen. In a way, this is a good period. It's to be drawing because it's a battle scene. Um, we've, we don't have as many things to worry about for our establishing shot. It's established. They're in the hedge maze, which is burning. And the environment's not super important right now. It's kind of burned out a big clearing. This bottom panel is going to have some more establishing details. I like to do an establishing shot at least once every page or two. It could be every 3 pages. That's an establishing shot, and that's an establishing shot. That's an establishing shot. These two are not. These two are not. That's going to be kind of an establishing shot. So we're on track with everything we plan to do. Also, it's fewer panels overall because the action is sort of atomized here. And it's like a quick action. So we're going to get a panel and then a shot and then another panel. So that we appreciate all the details, I would hope. All right. What's happening in this panel is Brillig, he's on top of the thing, but now what? He doesn't have any real way to affect the Jub Jub. He tears out like a couple of feathers, and then I put a D&D joke here, which is Claw Claw Bite, which is the classic first edition AD&D monster attack routine. But the bite actually seems to do something, and then the Jub Jub reacts and throws him with a howl. And we can see that one of the card guards is completely down, but one of them is still up, but he's got a tear. And he's actually not on the next page. This card guard, the other number 2. Let me throw his number 2 on there. He's not on the next page. The next page is basically going to be really bowled over. We think it might be the end, but our surviving card guard's going to stab the Jub Jub, and enough to wound it, and it's gonna leave. It's gonna run away, leaving both of them, and then Brillig gets knocked out and comes back to life as a human. Oh boy, I don't know if I should be able to do it. We'll pull it off. But our card guard is mortally wounded. He's heroic because he survived this horrible tear, in his card. And then the other one is a goner. Right here. I think that we want to bring back the frogs in the next pages after 23. I think a couple of frogs are going to show up. Maybe just the one frog is going to show up and be talking to Brillig, and we'll see a heroic ending for our surviving #2 guard. He probably dies from his wounds, but he dies heroically, which is a good way to go. And once Brillig's back in human form, he gets hold of the weapon, which is going to be a glaive, and it's going to be a Vorpal blade. That's the signature weapon of the Jabberwock story, right? So this is where he gets the Vorpal blade. And I think we're also going to find out that the Jub bird is related somehow to the bird goddess, so it's personal for Brillig. He's literally like ripping feathers out of this thing, trying to. All right. So we're going to reduce the pencil opacity just a little bit. There we go. Get back into the ink. First thing we got to do is figure out what's closest to a camera. Really nothing. These very simple panels as far as layout. So we can start by focusing on Brillig himself. Let's see. Today on Cartoonist Kayfabe, they were talking about ElfQuest, and this has got to be one of my favorite episodes. I loved ElfQuest. I had all the ElfQuest comics. But it was super interesting to me to see the Kayfabers' take on it. Because one of the things that was pointed out is that it was not highly photo referenced. Does that sound like one of my issues? Yeah, it's one of my issues. It wasn't, which is what made it good. It's just good cartooning. I wonder if I made him a little too chesty here. A little too barrel chested. Sometimes when I'm going a little too fast, I think I get the shape wrong of the the feather, whatever. Oh, the other thing that I really liked is they spent a long time, probably the second half of their video, going over the back matter in the comic, which is, I remember looking at that back matter too and thinking a lot of the same things. Because you see it's done on notebook paper, and you can see it's so well realized, already. I think my problem was I think I took the exact opposite take from them, at least early on at my age, which is I didn't get myself doing comics till at a much later age. I always felt it was possible. It just the ability to focus is really tough. Like I had to learn that with age. I had to learn also how to start small. Like I didn't have a good sense of how to do an 8-page or even a 1-page comic, just an 8-panel comic. And, anybody watching this is thinking, oh, I could do a better story than this stupid dodo thing that he's doing. If only I could get my act together, if only I could do way better. I can already draw better. Anybody can. Etc. I can tell you what you're probably lacking, if it's not too unkind for me to say that, is just you might not have the endurance, the creative endurance to go for pages and pages, and stick to it. You might do one page, you go, that's it. There's another cartoonist kayfabe video that's well worth watching called, it's the 1,000 Crappy Pages video. It's the one I kind of base a lot of my philosophy on. But when, Ed is going through his notebook of comics that he did as a kid, he uses the term, here I was powdering out, right? As he gets to the end, like he starts off with a lot of energy, the comic is going, you get about 2 pages in, and you're starting to get tired of it. Not tired physically, but maybe some of that. Maybe your hands are getting tired, but it's really creatively tired. You're like, I don't care about the story anymore. I can't stay up for it. That's the real problem. All right. This is a feather that he's plucking out. And there is a way to actually learn that kind of creative endurance that'll help you stick with something. And that is to, first of all, do short works and finish them at all costs. Start with a 1-pager. Don't jump right into the 200-page graphic novel. Don't even jump into a 20-page, comic story. Jump into a mini comic that's 8 panels. Or I always say a 4-page. I always say an 8-page. I guess 4 pages are kind of the minimum these days. We allow 4 pages in our anthology now. When I started out, I wanted it to be real stories. And what I found out is there were people that were taking advantage of this anyways. Like we had one dude do a knock knock joke for 8 pages, and it was just pointless. It was just a waste of pages. You know. But you can kind of learn by increasing. So that's what I started out doing with mini comics. And then I changed to ash cans, which is basically a piece of paper you fold in half and, you know, print on both sides of it. I think I have some of them in my iPad. All right, to go back, this is my entire comics history right here. Oh, here's one right here. Okay, well, there's Isolde. So it's printed front and back. This is page 1. This is actually the back of page 8. Or is this 12? This might have been when I was doing 12 pagers with Isolde. You know? So this is page 1. This is page 2 right here. 3, and you know, as they fold, they're printed on, you know, front and back, so and at that smaller size, you notice I only got 2 panels per page. 3 panels per page on this one. This one's definitely an 8-pager. Yeah, you can see it's 4 plates. I call them plates. This is the cover. That's page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, 6, 7, and then the final page was right here, page 8. Where was I? Here. And and I didn't just do just one of those. I did several of those. And from there, you learn how to get a story going. Another book that I recommend, along with Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics, is Ivan Brunetti's Philosophy and Practice of Cartooning. I think it's Cartooning, Philosophy and Practice, something like that. Which, if you're going to do superhero comics like me, you might find it a little rudimentary. It's really about straight up cartooning. But it has good exercises in it. And like I didn't understand how to do a 3-panel cartoon. Like, how do you make it funny? How do you need to have ideas to make funny cartoons? He gives you kind of a method. And his method is don't even try to be funny. You can be funny without trying to be funny. Don't try to be funny. And it can be like 3-panel sequence of whatever you did today. It just ended on the 3rd panel or the 4th panel. I think he says 3 panels. And you'll have a cartoon. And there's plenty of cartoons that are like this that are obviously following, if not this exact advice, they're in the realm of it. Like I was reading one on Instagram. There's somebody I follow on Instagram. Oh, I don't want to open it up right now. His comic is very slice of life. I think he's even like copy pasting the first page of it, so it also always starts on the same page. And he's like a dad, and he's like, today I had to do a thing, and it has him talking about it, and then he's doing the thing, And then he gives kind of like a thought at the end, and then that's it. That's the whole comic. That's a good way to get started. Now, I prefer thrilling tales of heroic adventure. That's kind of what I want to do. And I think you have to learn a little bit about writing and, you know, all those things. But you learn by doing. All right. At this point, we've pulled off the pencils, as I like to do. Oh, he should have his belt buckle. Another interesting thing about Brillig is, when he transforms, we're going to find out that his weapon disappeared, but it's going to come back when he transforms back from human. But if you notice, his clothes are the same as when he was in human form. So eventually, I want to get him some clothes and have him dressed up, so that when he transforms, he'll be wearing clothes. I think that will be funny. Or maybe he rips out of them like the Hulk or something, or like a werewolf. Who knows? All right. Now I've got some poorly drawn feathers here, so I just drew that so we know where we are. Let me do a contour of the wing. The Jub Jub bird looks ridiculous, and that's by design. It's kind of funny. I followed Russ Nicholson, the guy from the Fiend Folio who created the Akairai and the Githzerai and all my favorite characters from the Fiend Folio. But he doesn't post much, and he hasn't gotten back to me. I would love to send him this. We'll see what happens. Mine's not an exact copy of it or anything like that, but it was definitely inspired by. This is going to be a long time of texturing up these feathers. I think of them as almost like Muppets. You know how Muppets had that kind of feathery texture? Some of them, the ones with feathers, anyways. I'm thinking of well, obviously the bird ones, but there's Uncle Deadly has that weird sort of material that he's made out of. Uncle Deadly, definitely my favorite of the Muppets. One thing I think I'm slacking on is I don't have enough black. You know? One option I could do. Might be fun to do it. I don't know. On this page, just do the outside of the gutters in black. No, I don't want to do that. It's something to think about, though. I think it's a good trick to do, like on flashbacks. Like there's, I mean, there's a million ways to do flashbacks. We talked about this in class one time because I was struggling with it. You can see if you're looking on my Instagram, you can see a couple of Batman pages that I did. And so the assignment was, this is at Qbert School online, but it was to do your version of the Batman origin. So you got a lot of leeway to do it, and in general, you get a lot of freedom to interpret scripts however you want in the lower level Qbert classes. So, which I would say this was. Actually, it was advanced narrative. But I so I did my version of it, and then I, I submitted it, and then the teacher, in this case Giovanni Valletta, got to go over it and sort of critique it, try and make some corrections, give you some ideas about how you could improve it, or roast it, which I probably deserved on more than one occasion. And we got to the point where we're discussing flashbacks and how to do a flashback sequence. And what I settled on is I did a thing with Batman standing outside of the panels, standing in the gutter area. I think I actually have it here. Let me show it to you. There it is right there. So there's my flashback. There's Batman outside of the panels. And then, he's remembering the scene. And I think I'm actually better at doing faces now than I was back then. Although I still like this page with the people in the movie theater. This part is good. Like, I thought that was cool. All right. Where is it? This one. Yeah, we're all doing our best. All right. Have I bought myself a headache here with all these feathers? I only want to do, I'm not going to do all of the feathers, not going to do the whole thing. It'll be like that library scene, but worse, It's smaller, a little bit. How did Joe Kubert draw all those Hawkmen? I love the Joe Kubert Hawkman. Like the early ones are not that good. I was like, I was looking for reference on Wings, and I'm like, well, that's where I got to look. Joe Kubert Hawkman, that's going to be awesome. And like his sketches are incredible, but then you see the actual cover, it's not that great. It's okay. Like somehow I was hoping for something different. So most of our awkward feathers are taken care of that are up here. See, look, you can see that these are good feathers, or pretty good feathers. And then you get these things. This is just where I kind of faked it in with my pen. think what we're gonna have to do, and I kind of hit on this by accident as I was doing him, is I have the feathers, and then I just sort of just did some hatching down here, and it seemed to work. Like this to me looks pretty good. So, ironically, I think that technique is called feathering. I don't know. I feel like I'm creating a void. I don't have any. The one who really wants to be creating at the pace that I do. I mean, I've got the folks at the Discord are great. They're awesome. Um, but you know, sometimes they it's not their full-time thing. They don't have the obsession, which is fine. Or they may have other projects too. You know, they're just not really willing to share, which also is fine. And truthfully, the obsession, quote unquote, is it's fairly meaningless. There's a lot of people who do, quote unquote, have this sort of obsession with comics. They don't have the work ethic that goes along with it. So it's like, yeah, I love comics. I'm going to be a comic artist. I'm going to totally do this. And then, you know, you don't see them for a while. You know, oh, what are you doing? I had some things going on, you know. I don't think I'm very fast compared to like a real pro. Like a real G is much faster than me. So I don't think I'm really being too ridiculous here. All right, here we go. When I'm on Instagram, I follow every cartoonist. I'm hoping that, you know, we're going to be simpatico. Maybe we'll even be working together at some point. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we'll be in the same book. Maybe I can learn something. Okay. And a lot of this course is going to get covered up by speech balloons. If I thicken up these lines, it'll be a little bit more clear that that's meant to be the wing. Right. This is not the video where I'm going to talk about the pyramid of success, but it's coming. We're going to do it eventually. Talk about how it can help you. If you'd like to do a little pre-reading on your own, I recommend you look up Coach John Wooden's Pyramid of Success. He was like a basketball coach, I think. Except I thought he was like a football coach or a wrestling coach, you know. But it just kind of lists all of the things that you need to do to get to um, a success oriented um, point in your life where you can actually accomplish things. You know, and whether this is basketball or anything else, makes sense. Certainly makes sense to me. I saw Peter DeLuca, aka Pad, my commiseration to his team for not winning the Super Bowl. I hate football, so I don't really know. Um, I just heard. I heard from the grapevine. But he recently put out a video and it says, you know, to be successful, study pro athletes. And it has like a picture of like, you know, I don't know which athlete he has on the left, but it says yes, and then on the right it has Jim Lee and it says no. I was like, you got me. This is my philosophy. It's the same thing, man. But okay, so what's on there? What what's on the pyramid of success? Pyramid of success is stuff like enthusiasm, alertness, taking initiative, being industrious. It doesn't even get to the point of actually working on your skills until you build up your foundation. And of course, you're expected to be working on your skills all along too. And once you get all your ducks in a row, at the very final pyramid, at the very top of the pyramid, is what's called competitive greatness. And this is greatness of a sort that I think very few people can ever achieve. Certainly not me yet. I'm not there yet. I'm still learning. I'm still a student. Okay, just got this big wide open space. I gotta figure something else to do with. Um, but I have two other points that I want to put in there. One of them is a quote by Zuby that I just saw today, and it really hit me. He said, "If you study a thing that you're interested in for 60 minutes a day for 6 months, your knowledge of that subject, within 6 months will be like in the top 1%. I don't know if that's really true, but it did feel pretty true. If you put the work in, good things happen. So maybe in a general way. The other thing is, and this was being discussed on another channel about the term mangaka, right? Manga. Um, in Japanese, they use the term mangaka for somebody who makes manga, but it's actually not. That's not true. Mangaka doesn't mean comic maker. It means comic master, right? And in Japan, anyways, it's not something you call yourself so much as other people will say this guy is a comic master, right? And I don't know if I got that right. So here in the West, we tend to, I'm drawing some manga stuff. I'm a mangaka, Not so fast. So he must be, already at that competitive level. And if you look at the people say a lot of things about how PLOINK operates in Japan, but things like industriousness, alertness, initiative, taking the initiative, drive, personal dedication, it's all there, right? That's why they're really good. I think I might have it. All right, let's get to the balloons. There's a lot of slackers in comics. Anybody can be a slacker. Making the decision to, not be a slacker. That's different. That's a different story. What's this? Once again, I say, real G's can do multiple pages per day. I think John Byrne, who's technically semi-retired. I don't know what he works on now other than his, dang it, his X-Men cartoon for fun. I mean, his comic, yeah, for fun. But I've seen in interviews, he says, he would do like 6 to 8 pages a day. So just penciling. Inking takes longer. What I see in indie comics now is people trying to recreate the industry system. So they'll have one guy drawing and one guy inking, and another guy comes in as a colorist or whatever. Which is fine. It's a good way to go. But you don't have to. That's the thing. That doesn't have, like, if you don't have those people, you're still okay. You can still go. I do enjoy working with Jake Moore on Tarzan. He's got feathers flying everywhere. There we go. Like, Jake's been at it for this whole time. He's getting good. He's got it. He's got the industrious. He's got it all, man. All right. Okay, you know what? We need to put some black marks on this page. What do I need to do? I could do some focus lines kind of coming in from this side. Let's try that. First of all, we'll try it on its own layer just in case it doesn't work. Drawing guide, perspective. Was it like that? Like that? Like that? All right, here we go. You can easily screw these up. Oh, this is going okay. All right, now Take it back out. I think this works. Sometimes I feel a little intimidated when you got your page and it's got no, you haven't started inking it yet. They've got no marks on it. And you're getting that first panel in, or even getting the first panel started, even getting your panel borders inked in. That's enough often to get you started and kicked off. To get you over that little mental hump. All right. I wonder if I should, so like, would it be funny if I did claw, claw, and then I extended this down to bite here? In fact, I think I might do that. No, I might just leave it like it is and just have them to bite. Oh, I didn't do the sound effects, so let's do those. Back on layer 11. I'm just going to hand to him. Look. That's him yanking he's yanking the feathers out of the jub because he can't punch through them. Or bite through them. Ploink. Oh, them being out there. Yeah, it's got to be there. I think that'll be funny. I'm imagining one of those like cartoon sound effects like you would hear when Bugs Bunny plucks out one of Elmer Fudd's hairs or something. Bloink. That. All right, we got a good start. Pencils. All right, here's what we're gonna do. There we go. Okay. A good start. Please like, follow, and subscribe. I got 2 more panels to go on this battle scene. And then another page, and then I gotta start drawing again. What else I got? Yeah, please like, follow, and subscribe, and follow me for more exciting comic making. Maybe I will inspire you. Maybe you will inspire me. But we'll get through this together.